Hello everyone and welcome to MES's e-learning channel. In this video, we will be learning about the basics of cache memory in computer organization. So basically, if you know, inside a computer we have a processor and we have main memory. So basically, whenever a memory operation is being performed, the data which is required is always brought from the main memory inside of the, it is brought from the main memory into the cache memory. Okay, so basically where does this cache lie? So cache is present in between the processor. So this is your processor and then you have your main memory. Okay, so all the data is there inside the main memory. So whenever a memory operation is being performed, whatever data is required is brought inside of your cache memory. Now cache memory is not very large, it is a small memory and it is very expensive. Now cache is, we are saying this logically, cache is present in between processor and main memory. Physically it can be present on the processor or it can be present between the processor and main memory. So there are two levels of cache, level 1 and level 2 of cache. So if it is level 1 cache, it is there on the processor. Level 2 cache is in between the processor and main memory. Okay, so basically there are blocks inside of the main memory of equal sizes. Similarly, there are blocks inside of the cache memory. So the size of each block, suppose this is one block here in the cache and this is one block here inside of the main memory. The sizes of both the blocks are same. So whenever there is a transfer happening, the entire block from the main memory is transferred inside of the cache. But where will this block be transferred? There are certain mapping techniques. So there are 3 different mapping techniques that are there. Depending on those, a certain block from the main memory is placed inside the cache memory. And basically, whenever a processor requires data, the first place that it checks for the data is inside the cache memory. So whenever a data is required for any memory operation, a processor will always check for that data inside the cache memory and then it will keep on scanning each location. So there are multiple locations, there are blocks inside. So it will be checking each block. Okay, so basically inside the cache memory, there's a division. You have code cache and you have data cache. Okay, so basically it is divided into 2 parts. One is code and one is data cache. So basically there's a tag in front of each block inside your cache memory. So basically what does tag hold? Tag has, this is the tag suppose. So what does tag have? Tag has the address of the block which is being transferred here inside the cache memory so that we can find out which block is present in which block of the cache. So the collection of these tags is called as a directory. So the collection of all the tags inside the cache is called as directory or page table, and there are multiple blocks inside your cache, but cache is very small in size as compared to main memory, and compared to main memory it is extremely expensive. So we have to make the most use of cache memory in best way possible. So basically what happens whenever a block is transferred in the main memory, whenever a processor requires certain data, as I told you, it will first check inside the cache. So how will it check? So basically a memory address is generated by the processor. Okay, so it will have the block number inside it. So whatever block number is required is over here. So this block number is mapped with the tag of each block present over here. So if this block number matches with the tag number over here, it is a hit. If the block is not present, then it will scan the entire cache, and even after scanning the entire cache, the particular block which was required by the processor is not present, then it is called as a miss. Okay, so suppose a certain block is required by the processor, certain data is required, it is present in certain block. So basically it is going to check inside the cache. Okay, so it checks the first location, then the second, then the third and fourth. So in the very first location, if it is you don't find the data, it is not a miss, it is called as a mismatch. It will scan the entire cache, and even after scanning the entire cache, a particular data is not present, then it is called as a miss. and whenever a data is while scanning, if a certain data is that we require is there inside the cache, it is called as hit. And what is hit ratio? Hit ratio is number of hits, say n1 is number of hits and n2 is number of miss. So hit ratio is number of hits upon total accesses. Okay, so n1 plus n2 is hits plus misses. So total searches is in the denominator. The hit ratio is n1, number of hits upon number of hits plus misses. So the hit ratio has to be maximum. Okay, and the next thing is a principle of locality. In cache memory, there are two types of principle of locality. One is spatial locality and the other one is temporal locality. Now in spatial locality, what happens is we require inside a block there are multiple locations. Okay, so there are multiple locations. We require data of a particular location. Okay, so suppose the processor requires a data of a certain location within a particular block. So basically it will search inside the cache, and if it is a miss, what will happen? It will go now to the main memory, fetch that data and bring it inside the cache. So now when there is a miss, it will not only bring a particular location which was needed, it will get the entire block in which the data is present and place it inside the cache memory. Now instead of this particular location, we have the entire block. So next what happens is, according to principle of spatial locality, it means that whenever a particular data is being accessed, it is the chances of the processor accessing the locations beside that particular location is maximum. So if a particular location is there in vicinity of a location which was previously required by the processor, there is a chance that it will access the locations which are close to it rather than some location which is far away from that particular location which was recently accessed. So this is called as principle of spatial locality. So since the entire block is brought inside the cache, other blocks, other locations are also present. So in the next time when the processor looks for a certain data, there is a major chance that the data which was required by the processor is now present inside the cache memory. Okay, and the next one is principle of temporal locality. So according to temporal locality, whichever data was frequently used or is recently used, that data is present inside the cache. Now basically this comes in replacement policies, page replacement policies. So we can look into that when we study page replacement policies. So this is all the basics that you should know before learning mapping techniques. I hope you understood. Thank you for watching.